the mole. Not to be confused with the small rodent creature, but it's a chemical concept. Anyway, first off, how many are in a dozen? Well, it's 12, right? How many are in a gross? A gross is a dozen, which is 144. How many are in a ream? A ream of paper has 500 sheets. How many are in a mole? So a mole is just another term to express a number. So a mole is 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd power. It is humongous. So there are exactly 12 grams of carbon 12 in 1 mole of carbon 12. So this is an idea and a number called Avogadro's number. So Avogadro's number is in honor of the Italian chemist Amedeo Avogadro. He didn't discover it, but he hypothesized that this number should exist. So this idea is to be able to calculate masses and numbers. So things react in mole ratios or in molecule ratios, but we can't really directly measure the number of molecules or atoms. So we use things from the periodic table that we've determined for all of the elements called the formula mass. So the formula mass is the mass on the periodic table. It's the average atomic mass of each element. And this is in units of grams per mole or AMU per molecule or AMU per atom. But grams per mole of atoms is how we're going to think of that mostly. So calculate the formula mass of carbon dioxide. So we look on the periodic table, we see that carbon has a mass of 12.0107. You don't have to put all of those digits. 12.01 is plenty. And oxygen is 15.9994, which when we round that to 2 decimal places gives us 16.00. So 12.01 grams of carbon. There's 2 oxygens, so 2 times 16 gives us 44.01 grams for the formula mass of carbon dioxide. This is using the concept of moles. This is grams per mole of carbon dioxide, not just grams. So 1 mole of carbon dioxide, which is 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd molecules, has a mass of 44.01 grams. So what is a mole? A mole is just a concept of a number. It is a way to express, instead of having to say, for every 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd molecules of carbon dioxide, we can just say per mole of carbon dioxide. So this is a conversion system. To go from atoms or molecules, we're going to use 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd to go from moles to atoms or moles to molecules, molecules to moles, atoms to moles. If we have going from moles to grams or grams to moles, we're going to use the formula mass from the periodic table. There's another one for gases at STP from moles to liters and liters to moles. It's 22.4 liters per mole, but we're not going to worry about that till we get to gases. So converting moles to grams. How many grams of lithium are in 3.5 moles of lithium? So the first step is to figure out the formula mass or the molar mass, the atomic mass. Those are all very similar ideas, and we tend to use them fairly interchangeably, of lithium metal. So 6.941 is the mass on the periodic table for lithium. So we start with 3.5 moles of lithium, and we're trying to get to grams of lithium. So moles of lithium times the formula mass, which is 6.94 grams of lithium per mole of lithium. The moles lithium cancel out, and we're left with just units of grams of lithium. Remember, this is how dimensional analysis works. We get 24.3 grams of lithium. So converting grams to moles, we're going to go the other way. How many moles of lithium are in 18.2 grams of lithium? So again, we need that formula mass. We start with 18.2 grams of lithium. We're trying to get to moles of lithium. So we're going to put the moles of lithium on top and the grams of lithium on bottom from that formula mass. So 18.2 grams lithium times 1 mole lithium divided by 6.94 grams of lithium gives us, our grams of lithium cancel out, 1 on top, 1 on bottom. We get 2.62 moles of lithium. So let's use Avogadro's number. How many atoms of lithium are in 3.5 moles of lithium? So we don't need the periodic table for this, we just need Avogadro's number. So we start with our 3.5 moles of lithium, which is what we're given. And we're trying to get to atoms. So 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd atoms per mole. Our moles will cancel out, so we're now left with just units of atoms of lithium. So 3.5 times 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd atoms gives us 2.107 times 10 to the 24th atoms. How many atoms of lithium are in 18.2 grams of lithium? So this one we can't go straight from grams to atoms, we have to go through moles in the middle. So we're going to need the periodic table and the formula mass again. But we're going to start with 18.2 grams of lithium. We're going to then get to atoms of lithium, but we're going to convert from grams to moles, and then from moles to atoms using Avogadro's number. So 1 mole divided by 6.94 grams of lithium, that will give us our grams of lithium canceling out, convert us to moles of lithium. Then 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd atoms of lithium per mole of lithium. Our moles will cancel out. So grams lithium cancels out with grams lithium, moles lithium cancels with moles lithium. We're left with just atoms of lithium. We multiply it all out, and we get 1.58 times 10 to the 24th atoms of lithium. So it's your turn. How many grams of sodium are in 2 moles of sodium? It's 46 grams. What is the formula mass of nitrogen gas in 2? 28 grams of nitrogen gas per mole of nitrogen gas. How many moles of nitrogen gas are in 36 grams of nitrogen gas? So remember, that's nitrogen gas, so you should be using the formula mass that we just calculated. So 36 grams nitrogen gas times 1 mole over 28 grams nitrogen gas gives us 1.29 moles of nitrogen gas. How many grams of oxygen are in a mole of water? So to go through this, water has 1 mole of oxygen. So 1 mole of oxygen times 16 grams per mole is 16 grams of oxygen. How many moles of hydrogen atoms are in 36 grams of water? So we start with 36 grams of water, figure out how many moles of water that is. So divide by the formula mass, 36 grams water times 1 mole water over 18 grams water equals 2 moles of water. But 2 moles of water has 4 moles of hydrogen. So there's 2 moles of hydrogen per mole of water. So that's actually a total of 4 moles of hydrogen atoms.